Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bedomy, and this is Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, the sequel to Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and, let's see, this is, a sequel in the long-running Dragon Ball franchise. It is an action-adventure RPG set in the Dragon Ball universe, and it plays mostly like your typical 3D license-based action games, to be fair. It follows the rules and gameplay of a Dragon Ball game if you ever played one, which means, not a typical 2D fighter or a 3D fighter like Tekken. It's behind the back, flying, shooting lasers, and punching people upon the face type of a. Well, you'll see it when we actually get into the gameplay. But first things first, let's look. Why did I say look twice? Again, let's take a look at the options menus. So as you can see, we have several categories to choose from. The first one is the control settings, and I have to admit, this game is a console port for all intents and purposes, but it's nice that they added the rewindable keys for every action, and as you can see, most of these are separate keys for separate actions, and you can play this with a controller or with a mouse and keyboard. You also have two presets created, but you can always adjust those two presets to your own personal preference. But that goes both ways for the keyboard and the controller. I'll give the Studio Bird Studio. Honestly, I'm not sure how to call them, but I'm gonna call them Studio Bird at some point, like I just did. But yes, I will give the props to the studio for at least they didn't botch up this operation. The console ports tend to be, especially from the Land of the Rising Sun, tend to be poorly made, and the control support is generally terrible, so I am grateful that the studio took the effort to actually port this. When they ported this, that they at least supported the control scheme for the console they were making it. Now then, camera settings, as you can see, we have three settings: camera speed, and camera vertical and horizontal control. I prefer to keep them as they are. Their general reaction time is accurate, and I can get all my information with the controller when I'm controlling the camera. Game settings. This is where the game's. I would say it has problems, but this is somewhat misleading in my book. It's mostly music, special effects, and voice volume, and you adjust your volume in here, and also some heads-up display elements, such as your cutscene subtitles, character display name, choose your preferred language for the game itself, and the vibration for the controller. I mean, it's all crammed up into one section, which is, it's decent, but kind of confusing, all things considered. And while we're here, I'm just gonna recommend one thing. While the music in the game is pretty enjoyable, I would recommend that you either play it with very low or completely disabled, because you will turn deaf eventually. Just look at this. I'm gonna turn it up to the. Yeah, I turned it up to the third bar, and it's already. It's not causing me physical harm, but already I am experiencing some discomfort while listening to this level, and I'm playing this with a headset, and the volume on the said headset is turned to a very audible minimum. So you can imagine what would happen if I actually turned this up to let's say 25 or 30% of volume. I wouldn't go completely deaf, but I would have some problems hearing, and in the near future. So, while we're on the subject of music and voice and audio effects, everything here is nicely voice acted, and the audio effects as well as the music effects are okay. I just realized what I said, but anyway, audio effects and the music are very well made. The voice acting is top notch as always, considering the fact that this is dubbed by Toei Animation's long-standing voice actors of the Dragon Ball franchise in both the Japanese and English version, which all the props to the dubbing companies. They did a phenomenal job at dubbing their characters yet again. So brightness, as the name implies, allows you to adjust the brightness of the screen and of the game itself. I would recommend that you go for this brightness because it seems like everything is either offset by the lack of light or too grainy if you turn the lighting on too much. As you can see, this is somewhat anime-esque, to say the least. I mean, the game is self-shaded and made in the visual style of Dragon Ball itself, but with this brightness effect, it really seems like this is not ripped off from the anime, but that it just seems like a proper brightness level in my book. So for the graphics settings, as you can see, we have two categories. Basic settings, where you adjust your refresh rate, resolution, and display mode, as well as your VSync and some visual effects. And advanced settings will allow you to adjust your shadow quality, motion blur, glare level, depth of field, grass character limits, and some other doodads of the visual presentation. Music settings lets you choose which type of music you wish to hear in the hub world, during the battle, during your missions, or during the newly created Hero Coliseum DLC. You can choose which music you want to listen to. I'm not going to mess with this too much since I'm playing this without music for, copyright reasons and health reasons that I already mentioned. Data usage consent, I'm pretty sure I didn't agree to it, but you can turn it off and see where it leads you. But basically, it's gathering your personal information for Bandai Namco. You're allowing Bandai Namco to gather your personal information about your PC and your gameplay experience. So, agreement is up to you, honestly. Personally, I don't like giving my information out because it can and will be used against me in a matter of unwanted ways. But anyway, those are the options menu for the Dragon Ball Xenoverse. So let's take a look at the game itself. And the first thing you'll notice, like any other decent RPG, you can create your own custom character. So I'm not gonna mess with this too much, but I'm just gonna keep it brief. Basically, you can choose between the 5 different races: the humans, Saiyans. I'm pretty sure that's a Saiyan. It's been a while since I played this character. Majin Buu's race, Frieza's race, and Namekians, which are the green people that come from planet Namek, and they're basically Piccolo's race. And some races do have give you a choice between the genders, but in most cases that's just the visual representation. If I'm not mistaken, yeah. Actually, let's just take a quick look at the character creation. Yeah, stats will differ by gender for some races, or or a species, depending on which character you want to play with. So for now, I'm just gonna play with my main character, as you can probably guess. And yeah, this is top of the fashion, as you can see for yourself. Top fashion model here. Anyway, as you can see, we have the RPG statistics for every character we're playing with. And you can upgrade them as you level up. So just a word of warning, as your level gets higher, your skill points will be decreasing and you will have to carefully choose which statistics you want to upgrade. Also, while we're here, you can see that we are actually asked to log into a single-player lobby or a multiplayer lobby, which is honestly ridiculous. If I want to play single-player, it usually implies I want to be offline for the game, because, one, if I lose connection when I lose connection, the game will just kick me out of the game, even though I'm playing this solely for the single-player portion of the game, which is rather annoying, and I won't lose too much progress, since there is an autosave feature, but it is rather annoying when you're playing a game, lose connection to the internet, and it just kicks you out because you don't have internet. I mean, you're playing this solo. Why should I care if I have internet or not? Granted, the game does not just encourage, but has a lot of activities that do require online connections, such as online battles against other people and players, and also some online quests that really require multiple players to partake in. Also, there is a login bonus once you enter the game on a daily basis. You're awarded with in-game currency and the staple of the Dragon Ball franchise, which is Dragon Balls. So, welcome to Kantan City. A game where, even though you're playing this solo, you will be bombarded with event reports from online and encouraged to actually go partake in online experiences of the game. Just a quick overview. This is Kantan City, a very small place, all things considered, when we compare it to other hub worlds or open world games these days. But it does have the old Dragon Ball's charm to it. I mean, everything is easy to access, it's recognizable, and you can usually encounter some of your favorite canon Dragon Ball characters. Well, not just canon Dragon Ball characters, the game has... it has multiple characters from multiple iterations or movies, and from movies as well as the spin-off series. Well, I wouldn't call GT a spin-off per se, but yeah. You will encounter characters from Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball, the original series, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT. And on a quick side note, if you're a Team 4-Star fan, you will encounter the voices of Lenny Pator, Takahata 101, and I'm not sure who voiced... Yeah, Takahata 101 voiced Nappa. So you will encounter... I'm pretty sure you will encounter Lenny Pator and Takahata 101 mainly, but if you encounter the rest of Team 4-Star, let me know in the comments. I would like to know which characters are voiced by the whole crew. I mean, it really shows how much the Dragon Ball community is... what I'm trying to say, it's how close we are as a community when a group of fans that really contributed to the whole franchise are actually invited to partake in such a big project. Honestly, I'm really glad that the group that Team 4-Star is considered part of the crew in this game. So anyway, as you can see, this is a 3D action game with some elements of exploration, where you can talk to either other player characters. Well, not player characters per se. You can just, hey, look at Shaggy. Nice to see your. Wait, if you're here, does that mean it's Ultimate Instinct Shaggy? That's awesome. I mean, look, most of these are NPC. Most of these NPCs with yellow names are actually other characters created by other people, but they will appear as NPCs in the offline mode. So you can check their statistics as well as their names and other small other information. So let's see. Some characters, the other NPCs such as Gohan Videl and other well-known characters from the franchise itself will usually serve as either quest givers or mentors to your character, which means they will join you on a mission or two when things get dicey. So, and some of them will just give you a regular, and some of them are just random NPCs that can give you a quest. So most of these are unvoiced dialogues between two characters. This just implies this will just start off a quest or just give you a reward if you get a certain achievement. I'm pretty sure I wasn't reading this honestly. I was just talking to you guys, but basically you will, depending on which achievement you get, some characters will award you with different clothing pieces or different consumables. So let's just check our equipment here so you can see what I'm talking about. As you can see, we can switch our looks the way to suit our own personal preference. This is a high tier equipment I'm currently carrying, so it's giving me some bonuses to my statistics. Well, it would usually, but I'm wearing a QQ Bang, which is a special skill upgrade, which will nullify other effects from your accessories in order to give you quite a massive boost to your statistics, as you can already see. If I removed it, I would get that's just a plain old normal accessory. I would get a minor bonus or a decrease in my statistics if I wore a specific type of clothing. So it's recommended that you just equip anything you would prefer to wear, and then build up a very strong QQ Bang that will nullify the status effects from the clothes and make your life easier in a fight. You can also change your skill set, which are your primary special attacks that you can use. As you can see, my current build is oriented towards close and devastating melee attacks, as well as powerful finishers such as the Final Flash and Kaioken. And while I'm here, I might as well change this evasive skill. So for a second, evasive skills. Just give me a second. Actually, I'm gonna keep it like this. I'm just gonna show you what I'm talking about. As I already mentioned, this is an RPG game, so you will have to level up your statistics. You can level up your statistics to your own personal preference. I like to keep my character's attributes as balanced as they are as possible, but I think I should start focusing more on a specific route on this particular case. Battle items are your consumables you can take into battle with you to heal yourself or your teammates if you're playing with other people. And they also give you some other interesting bonuses. But let's just show you what I mean with a simple demonstration. So I'm going to take an advancement test on... I'm going to take one particular mission just to see how I will rank up, and also to get an achievement. As you can see, there is a special ranking in the game which ranks your performance depending on how you fight. The highest one you can get is the Z rank, which is fit to be a Z warrior or part of the main party from Dragon Ball. And occasionally, if you're struggling in a fight, your mentor character will join you in a fight to end the battle. Well, not to end the battle for you, but he will jump in and take some heat off of you. So this is a pretty basic fight I'm currently joining in. Whoa! Okay, what I said, things didn't go as planned. But there we go. As you can see, this is a typical Dragon Ball action game where you control your character from a moving angle, and also utilize different key attacks as well as teleportation techniques in order to avoid taking damage, as well as utilize your more devastating spells, well, not spells, but power attacks to devastate your opponents. So, whoa. Ooh, that was close. I would recommend that you keep your lock-on turned on. It will make your life easier. But there is one small problem with the lock-on. It's not as active as one would think. So is... I will demonstrate this right now. So I'm gonna focus on Captain Beam here, nothing done with it, and use a Kamehameha wave, which actually hit him for a change. Usually, give me a second. Whoa! Usually the game misses your attacks on purpose, or the lock-on won't automatically register or turn your character towards the target, so you will usually waste your power attack for nothing. Oh boy. That was close.
You passed the test.
And that was relatively easy. But most fights you usually partake in are not like this. You usually have to fight multiple enemies
now things are getting
at the same time, and utilize all of your special attacks and techniques in order to win the day. So that was just the basics of it, but as you saw, I have a health bar, I have a...
Hey everybody, I'm starting a special
I have a power
month
bar which
soon.
can be refilled.
You don't want to miss it now, do you guys?
Yes, I do. First off, Krillin is the one who's supposed to give this class, and you're the one... And you're definitely not Krillin. But anyway, I'm just gonna drop here, so you can see more interesting fights, and also to give you a brief tour of the area we're in. So as you can see, this is a mission area where you can join offline quests or online quests. Most of these are fights against NPCs, but you can also fight other people, such as online battles, or partake in tournaments with your teammates. Most of these jobs can be reached. Well, all of these jobs can be redone as many times as you prefer. So I'm just gonna go with something Yeah, let's go with something, I won't say easy, but let's go with something basic so you can see what I'm talking about. Most of these quests usually require that you fight on a specific map and defeat a specific character or specific characters. And also you can, as you can see, you can also play with multiple characters from the Dragon Ball franchise. And here we have Android 21 from Dragon Ball Fighters, which is a 2D action game, 2D fighter from Arc System Works. For this mission, I'm just gonna take my own characters, but be warned, they will not level up even though you took them on even though you took them on missions. They never level up. And as you can see, we have a big roster of characters in its own right, but the unfortunate thing here is most of these guys are locked off behind a paywall. Well, most of these guys are DLC characters. And some story missions are also considered, and some additional stories have been added to the game as DLC, which is nice, but I kind of wish that they added a bit more in terms of custom content support or more custom matches or server stability patches for the game itself. I hate to say this, but while the game is fun in its own right, playing this with friends is a chore. And I don't mean playing with other. I don't mean this specifically playing with friends in itself. It's a chore to actually connect to your friends. The game servers are dangerously, well, not dangerously, but generally they're very unstable, and they will disconnect you on the moment's notice.
Playtime is over. I'll show you what I'm really made of. Come at me!
So let's see, I'm just gonna, since I'm playing this in single player, I will...
I'm not done yet! I can still fight!
I will just...
Very.
See, for a second I was trying to... I was trying to get my words again. Yeah, the thing is, the game servers are generally unstable when it comes to multiplayer, especially when you're trying to play with friends. So that's the chore I was referring to. Playing with a friend is usually a blast. I mean, my friend Chris and I, we just create a custom 1v1 match and just goof around, or, well, not a 1v1, we play together against Goku and Vegeta and just goof around while they
finish this
go and power up for 20
playtime
minutes or so.
Vegeta, let me handle this. I'll wrap this up really fast.
So as you can see, we'll actually get a...
Oh no!
Now then,
We'll get a...
who is it going to be?
We'll get a friendly NPC on our side.
I'm gonna
And
enjoy
as I mentioned,
This is the power of the Saiyans!
friendly NPCs will join you in battle for a couple of times. On a few occasions.
Don't
So you can just...
underestimate Earth.
So you can... yes, bollocks. I'm trying to get my words in. So you can rely on your friends, on your friendly NPCs to actually take the damage for you on occasion, but be careful. Some missions do require that the specific NPC remains alive.
The results of my training! What power!
Sometimes you will actually...
I'm not gonna last!
Even if you're a Namek,
Sometimes you will have an extra value even though the mission is...
you'll see soon enough that
complete.
I'm not a fly. Run, go on.
Let's see, yeah, we're doing the whole Saiyan invasion saga at the moment. And you can see the
Do my best!
animations
You have a lot of a Saiyan too.
really debatable on occasion.
This is gonna be interesting.
Lose to you!
Let's see, I'm gonna try to use my super, and
I can
Oh,
still
I'm
do this.
I'm actually hitting
I can.
something for a change.
Mr. Piccolo, I'm
Just watch.
sorry.
This is something I was referring to. Even though you feed a certain character on occasion, they will bounce back and
I'll avenge
with a
everyone!
power-up of some kind.
Really?
In case of Goku, you will have
So you're
either a
finally
Super Saiyan version of Goku
going to let you get away with it!
Doesn't look like I should hold back here.
or a Kaioken version in this case. I'm just gonna abuse the situation, and there we go. That's the usual lock-on mechanic working at its finest. I was locked on, watching it towards Goku, and missed swing and a miss. As you can probably see.
You've done it
So
now!
I'm just gonna
You don't seem to know how
go
scary
get
I
Kaioken, and
I guess I've got no choice. I know it's dangerous, but it's better than me
And-
dying.
get Goku.
I don't have a choice. I'm going to
Oh,
have
come
to
on.
triple my Kaioken. Body, don't let me down.
Okay, just hurry up.
Kaioken times 3!
So as you can see, if yeah, this is what I was referring to. So, as you can see, the game has a stamina mechanic similar to Dark Souls, and once you deplete it, you won't be able to teleport behind an enemy, or you will exit your transformed state, which is rather annoying in situations like these, because one, I leveled up my character. I put my character into this state in order to finish this fight as quickly as possible, and now I kind of wasted my special transformation, and have to wait for I have to wait for my stamina to regenerate. I can't power myself up in the meantime and just go super Kaioken in this case. So I'm not in a position to yes! There we go. So as you can see, after the mission is clear, you'll be graded for your performance, and
fun.
what? Just an S? Seriously? But yeah, depending on your mission progress, you will be awarded points, and evaluation criteria will be presented towards you. And based on those criteria that you fulfilled, you will get a rank. You'll get a rank, which will grant you extra money, extra experience, and additional equipment, as well as some praise from your current master. And some quests are generally a good way to farm for specific equipment or abilities, depending on your build. So most quests will just revolve around flying around the area and fighting, while some will require that you go fly around the area and gather a specific number of Dragon Balls. Because this wouldn't be a Dragon Ball game without collecting them. And some missions will reward you with the said balls, which can then be turned in at the Dragon Pedestal in order to get a wish of some kind. Honestly, I never used them, so let's. So yeah, so let's see what we can get from this. Apparently, we can get something from Guru, not the dragon in this case. But yeah. Let's summon the dragon and see what we can get. There is a level cap in the game that forces you to partake in specific missions. Well, not only a level cap for your growth, but also a level cap for missions themselves. But you can level up fairly quickly. So
Come, say your wish.
You just need to know.
I just have to grant the one wish, correct? A very easy wish.
Yep. Oh. I want you to grow. Come on.
I have granted your wish.
Lovely. We got a level boost. But yeah, there are ways to actually level up your characters fairly quickly if you know which missions to partake in and which items to use. As honestly, I forgot to mention this before, but change equipment. You also have something called a Super Soul, which is a special boost to your abilities depending on the criteria. Depending on the soul's criteria. For example, You Must Die by My Hand. Super Soul is a key. It's a key boosting ability which will keep you invulnerable for a brief period of time, but only when you are, technically speaking, defeated by an enemy. And it will not revive you completely. You will be granted 1% of your health, and once that timer expires, you're dead basically if the enemy hits you. So you have to combine this with your consumables in order to regenerate your health, or be really lucky and keep your distance and hope that you can hit with a Ki Blast. But for experience, I would recommend that you go with 40-ton weights, which will double the score gain, which means better rewards. Well, which will double your rewards from the mission as well as your experience. And since we leveled up, I'm just gonna level up my. I'm gonna level up my health a bit, but yeah. I would recommend that you go for a farm collection, for a farm build if you're replaying this or playing the game for the first time, at least for the first 50 levels. Honestly, the game is really fun, all things considered. You're pretty much allowed to experience full growing stronger while fighting tough opponents experience while partaking in a very, very entertaining time traveling story, which is focused around your character and the first player character from Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1. So if you played this game, if you played the first game, you can actually transfer your save files and get a few bonuses such as additional items and experience, as well as the ability to fight against your previous protagonist and later down the line. Let's put it like that. So that's about the basics of the game. You can take on quests in the hub world, such as story events, training events, online events, and expert missions, which are very challenging missions that your character has to partake in with additional NPCs or player characters. And I would recommend that you play this with a group of people when you're doing expert missions. They're pretty tough. They're usually tough boss fights where you have to meet a certain criteria in order to win. But anyway, this is Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Would I recommend the game? Yes, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, this is a must in my book. But I would recommend. But I honestly wouldn't recommend that you play it with a mouse and keyboard. The game does support the mouse and keyboard input. better off playing with a controller. And also, just a word to the wise, some special attacks that you have to use, the game's special attacks really more often than not require a specific input in order to be resolved, to put it bluntly. So if I want to... no, that's not what I want. So let's say if I want to do a specific combo, I need to press XX, Y, but the time delay between the button inputs can be randomized at times, so I might press the X button several times. I might do the X input correctly, but the game will, for some reason, register one extra input and your combo will be abolished. Which is somewhat unfortunate, but you still have a pretty good roster of special attacks that can be used with a simple combination of left trigger or right trigger, or a combination of both and one of your attack buttons. So yeah, that's one of the major downsides, and the connection issue will force you to pull your hair out on occasion. And since we're here, I'm just going to mention the game. The basic game is pretty lengthy. It took me some time to actually finish it, and that was just me focusing on the story itself. I didn't partake in side content as much until I finished the story. But yeah. For the base game, you're getting a pretty decent deal for your money. I would recommend that you buy this game on sale, and especially if you want to buy all the DLC, because most of these, well, okay, not helping my case right now since I'm away from the mission area, but most of the better-known characters from Super or GT are, well, mostly from Super at this point, but most of the better-known characters are locked behind the paywall as DLC. So, as well as your level cap can be increased by purchasing the DLC itself. Also, some rewards are locked off behind the online content itself. Such as you can see, I did finish the. Excuse me for a second. I did finish the fierce battle against the Ginyu Force quest, but since it was an offline edition of it, the offline version of it, I cannot be rewarded for completing the quest. And if you're considering the idea of actually doing online battles or online quests, get a friend. Honestly, call a friend to play with you. It's the multiplayer side of things is generally dead. There are people playing the game. That's a given, but you're not in a position to actually. Well, not a position, but you won't be able to get them to play on a 1v1 fight or a online mission without too much begging or pretty long or a fairly long waiting bench, or you will have to wait for quite a while. That's what I'm trying to say. And also, this is just a annoyance of mine, a personal annoyance for me, but I'm kind of angry that the game's modding support is not allowed by Bandai Namco. There are modders who create very, very interesting content for the game, such as unique attacks for every character, different clothing styles, and additional QQ bangs and super souls. But if you use those mods, your game will automatically put you in an offline state where you can where you cannot even use a bloody controller, which is annoying. And you have to get a controller emulator in order to actually use the controller itself, which is rather stupid. And unfortunately, as I mentioned, there are no custom servers you can just hop in and play with mods, or just create a private server for your friends. That's nearly impossible. So yeah, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, this game will satisfy your craving for a solo adventure in a Dragon Ball universe with your custom character, but the online portion of the game will generally be unfavorable for anyone. Also, I might appear to be, as you can see, my character is wearing a sword on his back, but that's just a cosmetic, so you cannot specialize in any specific type of martial arts. Unfortunately, you can learn some of the melee moves from other master characters, but most of them just fall on your own personal preference. You can also, every master will teach you a few of its well-known moves, such as Vegeta's Final Flash or Goku's Kamehameha. Those ones, for example, those are the most well-known examples here. And yeah, unfortunately, you cannot create your own custom special move or anything like that. But for what it's worth, yes, the game is pretty fun, and I would recommend it to any Dragon Ball fan that wants to play a Dragon Ball themed RPG. Don't expect much from the multiplayer side of things unless you have a couple of friends that are also into the game. That also have a game as you. And luckily, even though if you don't have the whole DLC package, you can play with your friends without too much trouble. So, yes, I would recommend that you purchase this game on a sale or get it through other dubious means. And as for the DLC, it tends to be on sale if the game is on sale, the DLC will be on sale as well. So you can get a pretty decent bargain for it. There are some other game modes that were recently added, such as a miniature battle system called Hero Coliseum, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of this game. It's somewhat similar to Yu-Gi-Oh, where you pick up a deck of characters and then pit them against each other. But unfortunately, you're not put in control of the set fighters. You just watch a few animations of characters beating each other up. And those are not fairly unique animations. They recycle the same animation of a punch for every character. So Goku will hit Vegeta the same way he would hit Gohan or Piccolo or Krillin. Or that's about it. Anyway, my name has been Bedomy. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.